We are going to mount both a BSR kit and a DPS kit on one of our standard actuators. These are the elements you will find inside a BSR kit box, starting by the battery pack, the PCB, 2 plastic bags. The first one we are going to use the sticker only, and the second one is the one we are going to use to mount these 2 kits together. Then we have the traceability cards and the mounting instruction sheet. Inside the DPS box we would find the DPS PCB, the outer connectors, and 3 plastic bags. But in this case we're going to use only 1 plastic bag and the sticker of the other. In this case this is the sticker we're going to use, and the plastic bag we're going to use is the third one, this one. We also have a traceability card in this DPS kit box and the mounting instruction sheet. And finally, the DPS cover. Now we are going to open the actuator. We will take the cover off. But first of all, we have to remove the handle. We start by removing the screw which is fixing the handle cover. We take the plastic key which is inside the handle. This key is for the cams adjustment. And now we remove the screw which is inside the handle. We take the handle off. And now we're going to remove the 6 screws which are fixing the cover to the body. Now we take all the cables, we disconnect the cables from the actuator. And now we are going to build up the DPS cover. We're going to put some of the spare parts which are inside this plastic bag inside the DPS cover. We're going to use 2 O-rings which we'll put inside each hole. Now the plastic cup, which is going to be put inside the hole which is far away from the dome. The thing is that we are doing like this because this is a model 35. So in case of being model 85, this cup would be located inside the hole which is next to the dome. In the hole next to the dome now we put the plastic clip. Okay, now we're going to connect DPS cover connectors, cables, to the actuator. We connect, first of all we start by connecting the power supply and the earth, and now the BSR board, we're going to connect it to the main PCB board. Now we are going to fix the BSR board to the actuator by using the screw which is inside the plastic bag. Please note that this BSR kit is one of our standards, so when we have a power supply power supply signal failure, the BSR kit will drive the actuator to the closed position. In case we would like to change this configuration, we had to remove this jumper. Okay, now we're going to put the battery pack inside the actuator. We have to remove the screw on the base plate and then put the battery, which has two holes, on the boss and on the hole. So matching the two holes on the bottom of the battery with the these two elements on the base plate. Now we are going to place the cover cables between the indicator shaft and the battery pack, like this. Now we're going to put the DPS PCB. See that inside the DPS PCB there's a flat side which should match with the flat side of the indicator shaft. This DPS PCB has also one white connector which should be connected to the white socket on the main board. Now we are going to put the white plastic clip between the battery and the DPS PCB. We're going to use the long screw and introduce it along the DPS PCB and the battery pack. Just for your information, inside the battery pack there are two plastic tubes which are inside each hole, and this plastic tube is making the isolation between the battery pack and the long screw. In order to choose which signal, which instrumentation signal we would like to work with, we are going to use the white connector and put it to the 4 to 20 milliamps socket, which is our standard. Or in case we would like to work with 0 to 10 volts, we just change the connector and put it in the 0 to 10 volt socket. Now, just in case of instrumentation signal failure, our DPS kit will drive the actuator to the closed position, as this is our standard. So the jumper remains on the NC position. In case we would like to change the configuration, we should change the jumper and put it on the NO position. Okay, now we are going to make the DPS setup. We put the outer power supply connector without applying voltage and the screwdriver between the setup pins. Now we apply the voltage to the actuator and you will see that the LED is flashing. And the actuator is moving. Now we're going to check that the DPS is working properly. So we will increase the instrumentation signal. So first of all we connect the instrumentation signal connector. We will increase the signal from 4 to 20 milliamps. And then we decrease the signal from 20 to 4 milliamps, so the actuator moves in the opposite direction. Now we're going to connect the battery pack to the BSR board. To connect the cable connector to the white socket on the BSR board. Then mind that the actuator now is moving by using the DPS. Now we are going to take the power supply off. So the BSR will start working and going to the closed position. Now we're going to connect the confirmation cable to the actuator by using the last socket. Okay, we put the cover on. Be careful that any of the cables remain between the body and the cover. Now we're going to put the 6 screws which are fixing the cover to the body. Now we are going to put the handwheel back. Mind that there are 3 flat sides and 1 round, which should match with the handwheel shaft. Just make them match, press, and put the plastic key back inside the handwheel. So there's a hole for it. Then fix the screw. Put the cover on. And fix it with the screw. Now we're going to make the DPS setup, but with the cover on. We put the outer power supply connector without applying voltage. Then we cross pin 1 and pin earth, apply the voltage to the actuator, and we start with the DPS setup. Now we're going to connect the instrumentation outer connector. So we'll start to check that the DPS is working properly. Here we go, we connect signal, instrumentation signal, and we increase the signal from 4 to 20 milliamps gradually. So the actuator is going in one direction. And now the other way around, we start from 20 going to 4 milliamps, so the actuator goes to the opposite direction. Now we're going to check the VSR. Okay. We'll take the power supply outer connector. So the LED starts flashing. That means that the ESR starts working. It's going to the closed position. Now we take the instrumentation signal outer connector off. And now we're going to put the outer connectors of our actuator. We start by putting the screw with the washer and the O-ring. We put the rubber joint and put it on the socket. We're going to do the same with the other 2, which are black and small. One is for the signal and the other one for the confirmation. The signal one has the earth on the bottom. We're going to put the screw with the washer and the O-ring, the rubber joint, and we put it on the socket. And we're going to do the same with the other one, which is the confirmation and has the F on the top. Now we're going to fix the screws. Now we're going to put the DPS and the BASR stickers on the body of the actuator. Now we have to put a tick on the option we choose depending on the DPS configuration. It's 0 to 10 volts, 4 to 20 milliamps or 0 to 20 milliamps. NC or NO in case of normally open and normally close. And on the VSR case you have to do the same. It's NC or NO depending on what you have on the configuration. After that, you should fill in the blanks of the traceability cards. You also have to choose the same options you have put on the label of the actuator, so now you have to do the same on the label of the traceability cards. Fill all the information in and send it to the manufacturer for the actuator's traceability. Remember that you also have the written mounting instruction sheets, which you can read whenever you need.